The Earth suffers from endless wars, diseases, pollution, and overpopulation in order to maintain its habitual, the usual way of life. The richest and most influential inhabitants left the planet and moved to the space station Elysium. A little boy named Max lives in an orphanage and dreams of a wonderful Elysium. He listens admiringly to his girlfriend's stories about this beautiful place. Max promises the girl that someday he will definitely take her there. The space station has clean air and well-developed medicine. There you can cure a deadly disease or grow a lost limb. In addition, the inhabitants of the space station can rejuvenate their bodies, because they live much longer than Earthlings. But ordinary residents have no access to Elysium. They are denied even the right to treatment. The year 2154 is coming. Already an adult man, Max da Costa lives in the slums of Los Angeles. He is going to work at the Armadan factory in the morning and gets in line for the bus. In the past, Max was engaged in car theft, but now he's done with crime and is working on creating parts for drones that control order on Earth. For an innocent joke, police robots beat Max and break his arm. He goes to the hospital, where he meets his childhood friend Frey, who works there as a nurse. The man clearly sympathizes with the girl and invites her for coffee. Due to the morning incident with the robots, Max is extending his probation for another 8 months. The man is late for the factory and receives additional hours of work from the head of punishment. Meanwhile, Earthlings are organizing an illegal flight to Elysium in order to use quality medicine. 3 ships with several dozen ordinary people are sent to the space station. But the Minister of Defense of Elysium, Madame Delacour, notices the approach of extraneous flying objects. She gives the order to release missiles and destroy illegal immigrants. 2 space shuttles explode in outer space, and the third manages to land in a heavenly place. But robots are attacking people right at the ramp. They indiscriminately kill and arrest simpletons. One woman manages to take her sick daughter to the laboratory and cure several of her broken bones in a few seconds. But right after that, both of them are taken away by robots. The next day, Max has a breakdown at work. Under the threat of dismissal, the boss orders the man to deal with the problem. By mistake, Max is locked in a room, and he receives a lethal dose of radiation. The robot doctor informs the man that soon all his organs will fail, and in 5 days he will die. The robot forces the victim to sign a waiver of claims against the plant in exchange for medicines. The pills will help Max's body function normally until the moment of death, and it can only be completely cured on Elysium. The director of the Carlyle company comes to look at the victim. He looks disdainfully at Max and orders him to be removed from here. A decomposing body can ruin the floor covering. A useless employee is fired and sent home to die. Meanwhile, President Elysium Mopatel summons Minister Delacour to his office. He reprimands the woman for the unauthorized destruction of 2 spaceships and the murder of 46 people. The president also orders the dismissal of Agent Kruger, who directly fired the missiles. Kruger has a mental disorder and is dangerous to others. Max comes home. He feels bad and tells his friend Julio about what happened. A terminally ill man understands that the only chance to survive is to get in to Elysium. Max, along with Julio, goes to the local gangster Spider, who is engaged in sending people to the space station. Spider agrees to give a shuttle ticket in return for the service. Max needs to kidnap a resident of Elysium and use a special device to download from. It contains organic information, bank code numbers, passwords, and registration data. This will open access to billions of dollars. Spider gives Max a 3rd-generation exo-suit that will make him strong as a droid. Julio doesn't like this idea, but Max agrees. At this time, Miss Delacour offers Carlyle to stage a political coup and overthrow the current president, in exchange for lucrative contracts with Armadan for the next 200 years. The man agrees and says he can change the system and make President Paddle just disappear. Gallagher herself plans to take the presidential chair. Carlyle returns to Earth, writes a special program, and uploads it into his brain implant. At the same time, he encrypted the data in such a way that if anyone, except Carlyle himself, tries to access them, he will instantly die. Max has an operation. A special electronic device is inserted into his body, and he becomes super strong. A man knows for sure who he will steal secret information from. Carlyle's Max, along with Julio and the Spider-Men, is shot down by the shuttle of the owner of the Armadine Company. A shootout ensues between the guys and the drone bodyguards. The men manage to kill the robots, but they also seriously injure Carlyle. Max, along with Simon, pumps secret data into his brain, but an error appears. The information is encrypted. At this time, Delacour receives a notification of the incident. She sends Agent Kruger to rectify the situation, promising him reinstatement. A well-armed and prepared Kruger kills Spider and Julio's men and injures Max. The latter manages to escape, and Carlyle dies from copious blood loss. Agent Kruger boards the shuttle and continues to search for Max. The man hides under the carts with pigs, and the agent flies by. Miss Delacour orders the isolation of Los Angeles and establishes a no-fly zone over the city. While Max is on the run, no one should leave the city. The wounded Max falls near the walls of the hospital, and Frey finds him. The girl was just about to pick up her daughter Matilda from the hospital. Frey picks up Max and gives him first aid. In the morning, the man gets better, and he briefly tells the girl why he needs to get to Elysium. Frey admits that her little daughter has the last stage of leukemia and asks Max to take the girl with him. But the man says he can't do anything and leaves. Kruger finds out where Max was and breaks into Frey's house. The girl doesn't know where Max went, so the agent kidnaps her along with her daughter and takes her to his shuttle. Max learns from the Spider that he has valuable information in his head, which can open the way for Earthlings to Elysium. But the gangster can't fulfill his promise and send him to the space station because of the flight ban. Max has only a few hours left, and he decides to go the other way. A man comes to Kruger and orders him to be taken to Elysium and cured. Otherwise, he will blow up his head, and all the data will be lost. The agent agrees and lets Max into his shuttle. There, the man meets Frey's gaze and realizes that things are bad. On the approach to Elysium, a fight breaks out between Kruger's men and Max. The spaceship loses control and falls rapidly. People inside the shuttle are thrown from wall to wall, and Max accidentally releases a grenade from his hands. It explodes and blows off the floor of Kruger's skull. A space shuttle crashes on Elysium, but the people remain alive. Max helps Frey out. Matilda gets worse, and she falls into a coma. Frey runs into the first house he sees and puts his daughter in a medical capsule. However, nothing happens. Matilda is not a citizen of Elysium. She doesn't have a special mark on her body, and she can't heal. Security catches Max's Frey. A man is tied to a couch and tries to extract data, despite the fact that it will kill him. Matilda and Frey are locked in a separate room at this time as unnecessary. But the doctors do not have time to start putting Max to sleep, as he breaks out and runs away. Meanwhile, Spider learns that the airspace is open again, and Max flies to Elysium. The gangster, along with his people, also goes to the space station. Kruger's men bring the barely alive agent into a medical capsule and restore his head. Kruger, who has risen from the dead, decides to seize power single-handedly. When talking to Delacour, the agent pierces the woman's neck with a mirror fragment and throws her to die in Frey's room. Kruger's mercenaries arrange a rout and kill many high-ranking officials. Then the agent goes to look for the fugitive. At this time, Max frees Frey and Matilda and sends them to the medical capsule. A man meets a Spider and his people. Max asks the gangster to send one person. Frey comes to the rescue, and he engages in a fight with Kruger's terrorists. He kills the mercenaries one by one, and then takes on their leader. During the fight, Max attaches a grenade to the agent and detonates it. Then Max and Spider rush to the control system to launch a new program. After entering the data, the gangster learns that it will cost the hero his life. Spider asks Max what to do, launch or not. Max calls Frey, says goodbye to the girl, and presses the start button himself. The hero instantly dies, but at this second, all Earthlings become citizens of Elysium. The president bursts in, but his guards can no longer arrest the Spider. He became his own man. At this time, Frey launches the capsule and cures his little Matilda from leukemia. The Elysium system discovers that there are a lot of sick people on Earth. Space shuttles with medical capsules are sent to the planet. Now all Earthlings will be able to recover from diseases. Max's story is really catchy, especially after such a sacrificial finale. He gave his life to make people equal. I just wonder how long this equality will last. How did it happen that some were able to secure their existence, made a fantastic breakthrough in medicine, while others destroyed the Earth with their own hands? After the final scene, there is something to think about. And what would you do in the place of the main character? That's it for me. Thanks to everyone who watched to the end. Put likes, subscribe to the channel, and see you later.